Good morning, Washington. Good morning, Washington. Good morning, Washington. It's the 5th of March, 2012. So I Googled the word mall today, Maul. Okay, yeah, that's a mall. And look what I'm getting here. I'm getting this like satanic figure, and I'm getting this like big, axe-like looking thing. And oh gosh, it's really hideous stuff here. Look at it. This is what you get when you Google the word mall. And I just wanted to let you know that because WMAL has now changed its on-air logo. They're now Washington's Mall. I guess they mean a big axe. A big axe. Chris Plant carrying a big, giant axe. And they're going to carry it around and, liberals and Democrats and the president and I don't know, man. Actually, I think what they're meaning is a mall, like a shopping mall, or the Washington Mall, I guess. Like that green space down there between the White House, and the Capitol, and the Washington Monument. But they could mean a mall, like a shopping mall. Like Fair Oaks Mall or White Flint, or the Springfield Mall, which they're tearing down because it's a dead mall. I don't know. Oh, I'm out of focus, folks. So I got to get myself in focus there. Okay, so the big news today, I get up, it's like, it's going to be a sleepy little Monday, and I get up, and it's like, wow, a lot of news. News number one, WMAL is changing. It's not calling itself, let me see, I can't even remember what they call themselves this time. They used to be, the Morning Majority Show, right? So now their morning show is called Mornings on the Mall with Brian and Brian. So they have Brian Wilson and Brian Neiman paired together. Mary Katharine Ham is apparently no longer there. Now, I'm told she hasn't been canned. She wasn't fired. They went apparently up, WMAL management went up to Mary and they told her that they wanted her to do her own show. They wanted to take her off the morning show, give her her own show, and they wanted to start that really fast. Now, there's no word on what time slot she would have done. Now, the only time slot that WMAL could have given her would have been the 9 to noon slot, and that's Chris Plant, right? The rest of WMAL's schedule is all filled with syndicated talkers like Limbaugh and Hannity and Levin and John Batchelor, stuff like that. So where are they going to put Mary Katharine Ham? I mean, other than from 9 to noon, right? So are they going to, have Chris Plant do part of that and Mary Katharine? I don't know. But anyhow, Mary basically said no. There wasn't enough time to prepare for this show. She just was going to leave. So Mary Katharine Ham is gone from WMAL. It's a funny thing doing this website and critiquing Washington media and stuff like that because a lot of what I wish for happens. Honestly, I'm sure Mary's a nice, charming, wonderful woman, and if I saw her and had lunch with her and hung out with her family and her, I would be impressed with her. She seems like a sweetheart. She's pretty, charming. We wouldn't agree on politics, but as far as doing the morning show on WMAL, I just didn't think she worked well with Brian Wilson and Brian Neiman. That trio of personalities there didn't work. Brian Wilson is kind of the old elder statesman dean, and Brian Neiman's kind of the young upcoming organizer, and she just kind of came across as this kind of righty valley girl. It didn't quite fit, and it's one of those things where you have a third wheel, so to speak. It just took away from the show, and I honestly thought on the days when she wasn't there that the show was actually a better show. And yeah, I think it was a better show this morning with her not there. That doesn't mean I don't like her style. I don't think she's terrible. I wouldn't agree with her on politics. But, honestly, I think they probably did a good move by taking her off. Whatever reason she left, they took her off, whatever you want to call it, off the show there. They did some shows last week where Mary Katharine was partnered with some other people like that James Pethokoukis and a few other folks, what's his name, Lewis guy from the Daily Caller. She and them worked out better. I thought when they paired Mary with one man approximately her age, I thought that was a good pairing. But when she was paired there with Brian Wilson and Brian Neiman, it just didn't work. The chemistry wasn't there, So I think WMAL did the right thing by saying adios to Mary, whatever happened there. I'm sure Mary will be fine. If she's beautiful, she'll be all over Fox News. Don't cry for me, Mary Katharine Ham. Some other big news again. This whole thing about Russia's slut remark, calling that Georgetown University law student a slut because she supports insurance carrier coverage of contraceptives, is really kind of backfiring. And it looks, from what I'm reading now, it looks like 7, 8, 9 of Limbaugh's sponsors have dropped out. It's going to be interesting to see if this plays over into WMAL and the local stations that Limbaugh is carried on, whether they will lose advertisers too during his show and some of their other time parts. So I don't know. WMAL. So now they're calling themselves the Maul. The Maul. And I can see that they're WMAL. MAL is kind of Maul. I don't know. I don't like that. It just sounds stupid. The Washington Mall. What does that have to do with a radio station? A shopping mall? I mean, what? It's all go down to any shopping mall and it's shoe stores and popcorn, expensive hot popcorn covered with grizzle. It's crappy stores and half the malls are dying anyhow. So you want to link yourself to that. Washington's Mall. Come to Washington's Mall. It's a dumb name. I think the more and more I hear it, the more I cringe every time I hear it. And some other changes for the old WMAL. Looks like your favorite traffic people on the station, like Jamie Whitten in mornings and Dan Alfer in afternoons, won't be heard on the station much longer because Cumulus, the owner of Clear Channel, is pulling its traffic from Total Traffic, which used to be Metro Traffic, and they're going to form their own traffic provider. So I would imagine you're going to be hearing new traffic people on WMAL, and that would also go for WRQX Mix 107.3, which are co-owned by Cumulus. So that, a lot of changes at MAL. We no longer have George Norrie on anymore, Coast to Coast show on WMAL, because Cumulus is basically replacing that on all their stations with this Red Eye Radio thing. So we're seeing quite a few changes, and I think we're going to see a lot more changes at WMAL and WRQX as the spring evolves. So there. All right, folks. That's that. Other big news today, more Monday news. Channel 4, Vickie Burns used to be the news director there. She moved out to KNBC in L.A. about a year and a half ago. She's leaving that gig. Apparently, she didn't jive too well with the West Coast TV people out there in L.A., so that's interesting news. And also Al Gore's Current TV, which nobody watches. Doesn't get any ratings. You can't even find it on the damn cable TV dial. Bill Press, whose DC-based morning radio show, which isn't even heard in the Washington market, is it? Is that 1480 carrying that? I don't know. And that's not even a Washington market. It's Dumfries, even if it is. Bill Press's DC-based radio show is going to be carried on Current from 6 to 9 a.m. and Stephanie Miller's show from 9 to noon. Whatever. Current needs to get cable companies like Comcast to put it next to the other cable TV networks like Fox News and CNN on the dial there, and they also need to get an HD feed of that channel. I mean, Comcast here in the DC area carries Current on 107, and it's not even clustered with the other cable news channels. It's way off on its own, and no one's going to watch it. All right, folks, so that's the big news today. Dave TV for Monday, the 5th of March, 2011. And stay tuned to DCR TV. I'm also bolstering the Facebook page. We're looking to move more and more of our content onto Facebook. We're keeping DCR TV going just as it's always been going, but we're trying to cross-populate stuff with Facebook. So, don't forget to check out my Facebook page at facebook.com/DCRTV. And you'll see lots of other cool things that you won't find on DCR TV. And lots of my brilliant media analysis of national news items, too, not just in the Washington area. Thanks for watching, and have a great one. And so there.